There you go. Hey everyone, I'm the Dr. Bob Lee from 107.5 WBLS. You are watching Open. Welcome to Open BXRX. We have another fantastic show lined up for you today. Coming up on today's show, we'll hear from the founder and CEO of an organization that is having a global impact on young women of color. Then we'll check in with a friend of the show who is helping students and parents get the items that they need to start the school year. After that, we'll speak to the chairman of the African American Day Parade, who will speak about this year's parade and everything that his organization is doing for our community. And then Bobby C., he steps into the room. He has the latest in the world of sports. And then finally, we'll check in with a member of a well-known music production team to highlight their latest projects. All of this and more is headed your way. So stay tuned. We are wide open. Here we go. Hey, I'm the Dr. Bob Lee from 107.5 WBLS. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for checking it out. You are watching Open. It's that live interactive program that brings the Bronx to New York City straight to your TV set. You can stay connected to us through social media at BronxNet TV. Leading things off, our first guest is the founder and CEO of Girls of Color Takeover LLC. And she sits down with us today to speak about her recent trip to Central America and mentoring young girls, and she's going to highlight the work that she has done with her STEM camp. So that and a whole lot more. Please welcome Teresa Hernandez-Howe. Teresa,
Hi.
you didn't put that how on there. I know you use it, right?
Yeah,
Teresa Hernandez-Howe. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you.
Good, good. So tell us a little bit about, just give us a brief thing about the trip that you just went on to Central
So,
America.
actually, that's home. That's my homeland, Belize, and
All right.
it was super important to understand that the girls in Belize, of course, they are important, just like everyone else, and
Yeah.
they were super excited to have me there to do some mentoring, some coaching. I was able to speak with some amazing young queens. They had a beauty pageant for some young, amazing girls, and I got them all together. We had an amazing time just talking and understanding what was important to them, and just looking towards their future.
Yeah, yeah.
And so that was the younger group. It was just spectacular.
Yeah, and everybody had a
They,
great time, huh?
yes.
Yeah. Now, in Belize, do they speak more than one language?
Absolutely. It's very diverse. English is the main language, which is amazing. So, I think that's one of the beauty of Belize
Yeah.
is that it's diverse. There's so many amazing cultures out there, and it's just beautiful.
They speak Spanish there too, don't they?
Yes, they
Yeah.
do.
Do you speak Spanish?
A little bit.
Let me hear you.
¿Cómo estás?
I hear you.
I know a little bit. I know a little bit to get by.
Uh-huh. Yeah. 107.5 WBLS. Sofrito. A little bit of sofrito. I just said 107.5 WBLS with some sofrito. And Bronx Strong.
Yeah.
So this is fantastic. You've been mentoring for some time now. How did you get into it?
It's just a passion of mine. It came along with just being an entrepreneur and having that
Uh-huh.
entrepreneurial spirit. And in order to, engage and empower and encourage people to get into entrepreneurship, it starts with mentoring, finding
Yeah.
a really good mentor. And that's something that I enjoy doing. And I just make sure that it's a big part of my life, a big part of my day to day. And it's in my heart, and I enjoy
Mm.
it every day, every moment that I get to do that.
What was the highlight of your special trip and the camp experience?
So the highlight was really just meeting these young, amazing girls. Just understanding what was important to them and how and just listening to their experience that they had in their pageant
Mm-hmm.
and to understand where their future is heading, what they wanted to be. Some of them had some amazing plans for their future, and they were so young. One wanted to be a dentist. Somebody wanted to start their own hair salon when they got older. Like, it was just amazing to hear what their future entailed and what they're looking to do in the future. And
Yeah.
this experience with them was amazing. They were just ecstatic about just meeting me and having those type of conversations. They don't really talk about entrepreneurship in many countries. Like, and when you're at school, they don't
Yeah.
teach that. So to understand, like, wow, we can actually do this when we get older. We can use our skills and our talents and start our own business when we grow up. And to hear that rather than hearing, well, when you graduate, go
Yeah.
find a job.
Yeah.
So those were really inspiring to them.
And Teresa, how important is that to take them out of the area where we live and bring them away to camp, away where everything else you left behind and everything is like pure?
It's important to experience different, cultures and to experience different environments. I think, one of the things out here when I did the summer camp with STEM exposure, that was also an amazing experience for the young girls that were here to do that because, they also understood the importance of entrepreneurship and wanted to start their own business. As a matter of fact, there was such an amazing, huge success from that camp. One girl at the end of the camp she came back the following day with a business plan. You
Aha.
know, yeah. So they were able to give her seed money to start her business, which
Uh-huh.
was amazing.
And then you have the beauty of the science STEM. You did the STEM program in the summer camp. Tell us about that also.
Yes, the STEM camp, the Science of Beauty camp. So here in Tampa, there was a summer camp for young girls. 25 were signed up, which was amazing. I
Uh
was
huh.
offered the opportunity to come and speak on the business side of beauty. So, each day there were different entrepreneurs that taught them, the importance or understand how to create their own products. So on day one, they learned how to make lip glosses. On day two, there was another company there and another entrepreneur teaching
Wow.
them how to make their body scrubs. And it was just amazing. And then on the final day, I came to pretty much close it all out to show them now that you've made your products, here's how we're going to market it. Let's talk about sales strategies.
Hey,
Yeah, and also teach them how to do a pop-up event so that they can products. So that was wonderful.
I see a TV show in this. Hey, that's
Yeah.
great. So a lot of people come back and they want to contribute to what you're doing now today, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, this camp and the STEM exposure, it's the founders and the organizers of this program. They're amazing. Whatever help we can get, that would be perfect because the Glazier Museum, the Children Glazier Museum here in Tampa, have already invited us back for next year. They were super excited about how the camp went, that they've already said, you guys have to come back and do this next year.
Mm-hmm.
So this is something that obviously will eventually go global, and it's just inspiring. It's empowering to these young girls. I mean, because they know now that they can do anything that they put their minds
Mm-hmm.
to, and that's what we want. That's ultimately the
Yeah.
goal, is encourage these young girls to go for their dreams.
And people know when there's something good, when you get that call to say, "Hey, we need you to come back again." They know something went on that was good and that was beneficial to a lot of people. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
thank you for doing what you do. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Are you're being recognized somewhere?
Oh yeah. So here in Tampa, there's a Black Excellence event that's coming up in
Yeah.
October, and I was just
I heard a little
notified that.
birdie was telling me in my ear that you're being recognized somewhere.
Yes, yes. So it's a Black Excellence event that's coming up next month in October,
Uh-huh.
and I just received information that I was one of the top 10 people in business to know
All
here in
right.
Tampa.
Congratulations. Yes.
Yes, thank you. It's an honor, so I'm super
Yes.
excited about that. So
Yeah.
I'll be in the likes of I'll be in the room with the mayor and some, heavy hitter, people that are just doing amazing things here in Tampa, top, real estate people that
Yeah.
are just, making a mark for themselves in Tampa. And so to be among those people, it's just incredible.
Well, you deserve it. People recognizing the work that you're doing to help others get what they need out of life, that's important. Give us your website. Where we go? Social media, give us the whole nine.
Oh, okay. So on social media, on Instagram, it's girls_of_color_takeover. So Girls of Color Takeover. You'll find me on Instagram. And my email, if you have any inquiries or want to send any emails to me, you can hit me at gocto2020@gmail.com.
There you go. Teresa Hernandez-Howe, founder and CEO, Girls Take Over. Girls of Color Takeover, LLC. Thank you so much. Give me that website one more time. Give me that website.
So my website is girlsofcolortakeover.com.
Uh-huh.
That's where you can find some of our products for self-care as well, because we also talk about entrepreneurship, but you have to take care of yourself. So we have some amazing products that you can shop at our girlsofcolortakeover.com website. And to send any inquiries or emails, you can reach me at gocto2020@gmail.com.
Thank you for all the work that you're doing. Teresa, we love you. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Okay. All right, we'll take a break right here. More Open on the way coming your way next.
We built a media network for you.
BronxNet TV.
Come learn in your new state-of-the-art studios at Lehman College.
At Mercy College.
And coming soon to the South Bronx in the Hub.
Inspire with your stories, culture, history.
Your Bronx on BronxNet.
Engage with us.
Connect with us at your channels and at BronxNet.tv.
Learn, engage, inspire. BronxNet TV.
From the Bronx
to the world.
BronxNet.
And welcome back. Here we go again. Welcome back, everybody, up to Doc Bob Lee. And I have the director for special events for iPower Global Solutions. And she's a friend of the show. And you can bring it up, yeah, because she's always doing some great things. She's a great friend of the show. She joins us to speak about her upcoming back-to-school supply drive. So please welcome to the show, Phyllis Shelton. Phyllis, welcome.
Hi, Bob. Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here. It's kind of different for me being on this side of the camera. I usually peep people on this side of the camera. I'm usually behind the scenes, so this is going to be interesting.
Yes, you are. You do a lot of great things behind the scenes too, making sure that we find out about you. Well, you create the awareness. You help to create the awareness about the people, places, and things who are in our community. And so we appreciate you for that. But you're doing something too. Tell us about this big back to school
Yes,
event.
I'm excited. A lot of people do not realize that there is a need, a dire need for kids when they're going back to school, especially with supplies. I looked at a couple of the supply lists and I was astonished to see how many items that are actually required for students going back to school. And this starts from kindergarten going all the way up to high school. And some of the parents now, because of the pandemic, they're just coming off the pandemic. Some of the parents are laid off, and it's becoming very stressful for the parents to provide the necessary supplies that their children need in order to succeed in school. So we came up with this idea. Well, we've been doing
Mhm.
it for a couple of years now with the backpacks and school supply drive. So we reached out to Amazon, and Amazon was really helpful in helping us organize everything.
Yeah.
And we've gotten great results from having that and being on Amazon. So
Yeah,
we're
and you know, you
excited.
were involved with education for many years. I remember when I first met you, you were working with Matilda, who had a
Yeah,
mentoring program, Matilda
yeah.
Cuomo. Uh,
Yes, and that was a very exciting.
yeah.
Miss Matilda, as you know, has since retired, but we still have work with different organizations in terms of the mentoring program. We're always mentoring because the kids right
Hmm.
now, especially now more so that we're coming off of this pandemic thing, they really need mentors. And the main issue with that is like children along with adults are suffering from isolation. We're not used to being isolated. We are
All right.
social people, and because of the pandemic, as you know, we were mostly isolated. So now we have to deal with the stress factors. We have to try to get our students and our children and even the adults, we have to get them back into whatever we consider normal now, because we're not used to being isolated, and
Yeah.
we were isolated for what, almost 2 years now.
Phyllis, are
So
we playing catch up now? Are we playing catch up? You think a lot of people are arguing that the youngsters missed about 2 years of their education, which is a vital, you know, place in their lives.
it is
Are we
socially
playing
we're
catch
playing.
up, or what are some of the things that we have to do to bring that back up if we are playing
Right.
catch up?
Socially, we're playing catch up. A lot of the parents and a lot of the students, teachers, a lot of the educational systems, they had programs in place during the pandemic. There was a lot of in-home training,
Hmm.
and which was really good. The parents were very studious about keeping the students on track. So I think the main issue right now in playing catch up is to get back into that socialization. But as
Yeah.
far as their academics were concerned, there were a lot of programs in place that kept the children on point and on base and
Yeah.
kept them occupied. So the educators and the parents did a great job when it came to that.
All right. So we have the back to school supply drive going on right now. What are some of the things that you need, and what can the public do to help?
Most importantly, the students are required to have headsets now, which is very expensive. Backpacks, as I'm sure you know, are extremely expensive. They start out with like $29, $30.
Yes.
And what we don't realize is if you get a backpack now at the beginning of the year, by January, that backpack is usually worn out and they need to replenish the backpack. So a lot of people don't realize that a backpack does not last the entire year. So
Hmm.
that's some of our essentials. The headsets are really important, and the teachers want the headsets that you can plug into the computer because a lot of them are using whiteboards, so not the wireless. That gets to be an expense. If you have a family that have 2 or 3 children in school, that could be an enormous expense for them. So headsets, backpacks, and of course your normal school supplies. I looked at a list, and if it's not, oh my goodness, 20 items on that list or more. I'm trying to remember how it was like back in the dinosaur days when we were going to school. What our supply list looked like, and it did not compare to what the
Two
students are
pencils,
receiving. Yeah.
a notebook, a pencil
Yes.
sharpener.
Yeah. Now they have to have headsets. They have to have different color folders. They have to have different color
Uh,
binders. They have to have graph paper, regular paper, notebooks, red pens, blue pens, black pens. They have to have markers and highlighters. They have to have oh, Kleenex tissues now. They have to have their own paper
Right.
towels, hand soap, hand
Hand
sanitizer.
sanitizer. Yeah.
Yeah, so those things are an added addition to the normal list of things that we are used to
So
having,
how can
Long
people help? How can people help?
well, we have set up an Amazon account. It's F it's
Mm.
www.fbcbbacktoschool.org. So if they go on that site, we've set up everything that we need for the students. They can go on there, they can order, and it will be drop shipped automatically to our organizations,
Yeah.
and we will distribute it to the students.
And also tell us about the Community and Wellness Festival being hosted by First Baptist Church of Bronxville
First Baptist
and
Church
Convent
is,
Church.
is is awesome. They do a lot in the community in terms of trying to meet the needs of the community during the pandemic. They were instrumental in making sure that people had food and clothes and just consoling them as well. People look at churches only Sunday, but church is more than Sunday, especially when you're facing crisis. So they are very instrumental in out community outreach. We're going to have everybody. Actually, we're excited because we're going to be doing the new booster shots on Saturday. So anybody needs to have their booster shot, the latest booster that's coming out now, the Moderna booster shot and the Pfizer booster shot will be available. So we
Oh,
will have that. We will have educators coming out talking about the new variants of the COVID and also the monkeypox. There's still a lot of concerns, a lot of unanswered questions out there regarding that. So we will have educators to come out. For the children, Mr. Softy is going to be out there, so they're going to get free ice cream. We're really excited about
yeah.
that. East Chester Fire Department is going to come and they're going to have the fire engine
Mm-hmm.
out. And the kids are going to be, learn a lot about the fire engines and fire prevention, and they're going to help us distribute these school supplies. So the American Red Cross is going to be there. So we have a lot of, educational faculties that's
Yeah.
going to come. We're going to do face painting, and we're going to have bouncy houses for the kids. So we're looking forward to having a very exciting, very, informative event as well.
And Phyllis, this is all being done through iPower Global Solutions, right?
iPower Global Solutions, yes, we're the event planner, but in cooperation with our neighborhood and our community. So we also have community volunteers that come out and help put this together. But this was the brainchild of iPower Global Solutions,
And it's on
and
your website, right?
it's on the website, yes.
Which is,
iPowerGS.com.
and we'll put it on the bottom there too. All
Okay,
right.
please, thank you.
Yes.
Yes. So
Thank.
if anybody's in the area, we invite you to please come out and join us. Like I said, we have it's going to be informative, educational, but it's also going to be fun. We're going to have some fun activities as
There
well.
you go.
And if you need your booster shot, by all means, please come out and get your booster.
This booster takes care of all of the variants there. Phyllis, thank you so
It
much.
certainly does. Thank you for having me, Bob.
Okay.
It's a pleasure to see you.
You got it. Phyllis Shelton, CEO, iPower Global Solutions. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. We'll take a break right here. We still got a whole lot more in store for you. Kick off your shoes and relax your feet. Here we come. And welcome back, everybody. I'm the Dr. Bob Lee, and our next guest is the chairman of the African American Day Parade, and he's down with the board of directors with the whole crew. He's here to speak about the work that this organization is doing for our community and to highlight the most recent African American Day Parade event. So please welcome to the show, Yusuf Hasan. Yusuf, welcome.
Thank you for having me, Bob, once again.
All right. A great event, another successful year. I mean, we did 2 virtual events, and now we're here. What do we do? The 51st and 52nd, 53rd, we're back live.
Live and in person.
Yes.
And that's a beautiful thing. And this year we had a great, great parade where we highlighted our healthcare providers. Our theme were good health is essential.
Yes.
And we had some phenomenal grand marshals, including Dr. Michelle Henry, Sandra Lindsay, the first person to ever take the vaccination shot here in the city, in the state, in the country. Dr. Bernard Robinson, a great leader, Director of Emergency Medical Services of Manhattan, of Northwest Hospital. And we had Dr. Pamela Adams, great Vice President and Chief Diversity Officer for Mount Sinai Health
Yeah.
System. And we had Dr. Gary Butts, also a great executive vice president for diversity and equity and inclusion at Mount Sinai. But what's also important is that we had some phenomenal marshals at Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. Nicola Buchanan, another great, great sister who worked very hard in the community to bring about equity. And surely we had Dr. Louis Boyd, who is a great chair of the Equity Committee at Memorial.
Yeah.
But also we had Chancellor David Banks
Yes.
of the school system, who I think was just important for us to highlight the health system and surely health for our young people and our children in our school systems. So it was a great, great parade. Great sponsors this year we had. And it was really good, Northwest Health, WBLS as usual, Bob.
Yeah.
Always on the front line with us to make sure this parade goes off well. And we had NAACP and the New York State Nurses Association, especially the Transportation Workers Union and the great Schomburg Center for Research in Black Culture was one of the grand marshals, along with the Memorial and Northwest Health in Mount Sinai. So it was a great, great occasion yesterday with the African American Day Parade, which was our 53rd celebration.
How was it at the mayor's office? I know there was a lot of excitement going on with that, and having the mayor behind it, it was a wonderful thing. And he promises to do more the following year, next year.
Our mayor, I love this mayor. Mayor Eric Adams invited us to be a part of the first reception ever for the African American Day Parade at Grayson Mansion, and it was great.
Yes.
Quite a few members were there, our board of directors, and our grand marshals was there. And the mayor made a phenomenal speech in support of the African American Day Parade. And he promised us that he's going to make sure that this parade is always highlighted with the reception each year he's in office. And we'll be able to invite more of our community members, especially our volunteers and our seniors in our community, who have been holding this thing together for years and have had an opportunity to go to Grayson Mansion and meet with any mayor. And we want to make sure that that happens for our seniors.
Yeah. And Yusuf, give us a little history of the parade. I know I started out years ago with Hal Jackson. We had a big red tent, WBLS on it, and Hal Jackson, WB, and Clay Berry were broadcasting under that tent. I would jump in and out of the broadcast, but I was the guy mainly just in the streets, just cheering everybody on, talking to people on the microphone, and just having everybody come through and just talking about the people who were coming through from all over the country, basically all over the world.
Well, this parade has been going on for a long time. It started in 1969 right on Adam Clayton Powell Jr. Boulevard, where it's still today. And our first Grand Marshals then was our great Congressman Adam Clayton Powell Jr. and the great Congresswoman Shirley Chisholm.
Wow.
And ever since then, we've had this great parade right here in Harlem on 7th Avenue, now Adam Clayton Powell Jr. Boulevard. And with Hal Jackson and all those other great leaders we've had support this parade, it's just been a great, great ride. And it continues to stay after 52 years.
Yes.
53 years past now. We leading up to our 54th year. And we will focus on our culture. But the culture of the African American community is just beautiful. And I think it's important that all of us support this parade on some level because it keeps our heritage alive and it showcases the absolute best and the brightest of our community. And it shows our unity and our
Yeah.
dignity and love for one another. This is important, especially nowadays when we see so much negativity in Harlem and the Harlems of this country, where our young people seems like there's so much violence and everyone talks about the violence, but what about the good? And this parade highlights our good young youth and it showcases our parents and our grandparents as they sit under a tent and watch the fruit of their labor pass by on this day of celebrating our heritage now and our legacy. So it's a beautiful thing, and we're grateful to everyone who supported this parade throughout the years. And we've had some phenomenal grand marshals, Spike Lee, Ruby Dee, Ozzie Davis. We've had Queen Latifah, Muhammad Ali, you name it. We've had some great grand marshals, and we'll continue to keep this legacy alive right here in Harlem.
And the young man, you had a couple of founders. The young man who was the chairman just before you, he started the parade years ago, and you were with him every step of the way.
Yes, sir, Mr. Abe Snyder. Abe Snyder is still alive, but he's not as well as he used to be. So he and I, and Ololume, he's another founding member that's still living with us today. And we was at the press conference this past week with the parade, and he was just phenomenal talking about the parade a few minutes and how it was established and how we are carrying it on. So I'm proud to walk in the footsteps of these two great leaders and those other 11 other members, men and women, who established this parade as the chairman. And I've been the chairman of this parade now for over 10 years, and we're trying to move it to the next level, which including other things that are important to our community, like the literacy program we've started. At the St. Nicholas houses, we are having the literacy program for our children, and it was good to see them to get their books and learn to read. Things went on the pre-parade.
Now, before we wrap it up, tell people where they can go for more information. You got the website, and then for people who missed the parade, can they see it? Did anybody take pictures of it? Did they videotape it? Yes.
And matter of fact, you could also go to our website to see our two virtual parades from 20 and 21. It's still on the website, www.africanamericandayparade.org, and you certainly can see some of the highlights from the parade this year. All of our grand marshals there, and it's just a great occasion for us to continue this legacy here in Harlem. And one last thing I want to say about this is that our former mayor, Dave Dinkins, said something that was very important for all of us at his last interview before the transition out of this life, is that he said that this parade is one of the great vehicles that carries our culture forward and continues it. And he would like to see it last forever right here in Harlem. That was very powerful.
Yes, very powerful.
And also, the great Arthur Mitchell said one time in his last interview before he passed away in 2019 was that he said you will go out and you'll get you something to drink and you'll get you some outfits, but this man is trying to raise money for the arts. He said you're not donating to the arts. It's like you're living in a desert.
Yeah.
So these two great men really pushed the button about how important it is for all of us to support our heritage and our legacy in this parade. And it is free to our community. We just our people, our children.
Well, thank you so much. You know we're going to be looking forward to next year's, the 54th annual. Well, I got to do a hard wrap right here. Thank you so much, Yusuf Hasan, Chairman, African American Day Parade Incorporated. We appreciate you, and we'll see you again. We'll be talking very soon.
Yes, sir.
All right. We'll take a break. I've got Bobby C. He's up next. He has the latest in the world of sports. Here we go. It's going to be great.
Good morning, Yankee fans. We are witnessing history right here in the BX. Aaron Judge is having a season for the record books. Social media has been having an absolute field day whether or not the Judge is going to be the American League most valuable player this season, with his only real competition coming from pitcher-slugger Shohei Ohtani of the LA Angels. Now, I get the WAR stats debate and the fact that Ohtani is a modern-day version of Babe Ruth as a pitcher and a slugger. But Judge entered the stretch run in the month of September, not only carrying the Bronx Bombers, who, honestly, fans, they've been falling apart at times of late, but also in leading the league in, get this, homers, RBI, runs, WAR, on base, slugging, OPS plus, total bases, and extra base hits. And in his stellar defensive play, his clutchness, and captain-like ways. And I don't care if former Yankee ace CC Sabathia thinks Ohtani deserves it more. Not only do the stats paint the picture that I've just laid out for all of you, but the rest of the narrative makes the case for Judge being more than MVP. It makes the case for him challenging the top 5 seasons by a Yankee in the franchise's illustrious history. And here's my top 5. This may surprise some, but I'm going with the Iron Horse at number 1. That's right, the pride of the Yankees. Lou Gehrig had a season to remember in 1927. The 27 Yankees are widely remembered as one of the game's most dominant juggernauts, and Gehrig, of course, was key to that. He earned AL Most Valuable Player honors in a year when the Murderers Row lineup powered the club to 110 wins and a sweep of the Pittsburgh Pirates in the World Series. Playing in all 155 games, of course, Gehrig batted .373, leading the circuit with 52 doubles and a then record 173 runs batted in. Added 149 runs scored, 18 triples by a slugger, and 47 homers. His 117 extra base hits that season are second only to Babe Ruth's 119 in 1921, and his 447 total bases are third all time. Steve Hurt, a friend of mine, formerly of the Elias Sports Bureau, once said that Gehrig is the most complete player of all time. And when you really look at the numbers, that could be hard to argue. I mean, it's just the last decade that we watched Derek Jeter pass the Iron Horse as the Yanks' all-time hits leader. Oh, captains, my captains. See, folks, on my list, it's not all about home runs. That's why Ruth will come in here at number 2. His 1927 season, as great as it was, clearly finished second to Lou Gehrig in the MVP conversation. More on that a bit later. That says a lot when you consider that Ruth set a single-season mark for homers that stood for more than 3 decades in that season. Ruth's 1920 season stands out to me, though. No one had hit 30 home runs in a season to that point in time. Ruth set the record in 1919 with 29, and then, of course, would go on to do even more in 1920. The Sultan of Swat went out and showed that it is possible to belt 54 home runs in 1920. That was the first time that Ruth out-homered the entire league. The Browns were second with 50 homers, and the Boston Red Sox, without the Babe for the first time, finished last. Ruth led the league in runs, homers, RBI, walks, and on-base percentage. His slugging percentage stood as a league mark until Barry Bonds eclipsed it in 2001, likely using steroids to do so. Another conversation for another day. We recently featured Ruth's exploits on our show in a conversation about his famed called shot in the World Series. Check this out. Look at the numbers of Babe Ruth, essentially 100 years after he has been gone from playing the game, and his numbers are so remarkable, so incredible. Do you still believe that Babe Ruth is arguably the greatest baseball player of all time?
I definitely do. I think that what he accomplished not only as a hitter, And not only as a pitcher, I mean, there's been no player in Major League history who has excelled both as a pitcher and as a hitter. Is remarkable and unique. And I think the way that he separated himself from his peers during his playing years sets him apart in virtually every way. I mean, he was a monumental figure in the game. And I've listened to the baseball historian John Thorne talk about the great players of the game, and he says the three greatest players of all time are Babe Ruth, Willie Mays, and Barry Bonds. But I would put Ruth right at the top of that list.
Joe D comes in third on my list of best individual seasons by a Yankee. Joe DiMaggio's 56-game hitting streak captivated the public from coast to coast in the summer of 1941. The Yankee Clipper from May 15th to July 16th, 2 months of baseball, notched a 56-game hitting streak, shattering Wee Willie Killer's previous record of 44 and establishing a mark that many consider, including myself, to be unbreakable. Joltin' Joe batted .408 during the streak. He went on to lead the majors with 125 ribbies and 348 total bases. The exploits earned him the second of his 3 career MVPs. Can you imagine winning the Triple Crown and coming in fourth on this list? Well, the debate over New York's top center fielder raged on for years in the city's schoolyards. Was it Brooklyn's Duke Schneider, Giant star Willie Mays, or Mickey right here in the Bronx? In 1956, folks, there was no debate, en route to earning his first of 3 career MVP awards. Mickey Mantle won the Triple Crown with a .353 average, pacing the majors with 132 runs, 52 dingers, 130 ribbies, and 376 total bases for the Bombers. Mantle edged Ted Williams of the Boston Red Sox, the rival Red Sox, for the batting title and capped it all with a terrific running catch that kept Don Larson's perfect game, the only one in World Series history, alive in the Fall Classic. Let's go down memory lane one more time with the Mick.
Well, I really wanted to talk a lot about Mickey's best season. In 1956, he won baseball's Triple Crown Award by leading the American League in home runs, runs batted in, and batting average. Only the second Yankees player to ever do that after Lou Gehrig, and he won his first Most Valuable Player that season. So in this corner of the display case, we actually have Mickey's first Most Valuable Player Award that he won in 1956. And we also have the Hickok Belt, which is a very special award. They used to be given out to the most successful professional athlete in all of professional sports every year, and Mickey received that award in 1956. The Mantle family was kind enough to extend that loan to us, and those are 2 pieces I'm especially proud to have on display.
Now, I don't think Aaron Judge's 2022 campaign topples any of these 4, but he's certainly in the conversation with my 5th choice, and that's the same man he's talked about a lot with this season, Roger Maris. See, in 1961, it was Maris in the pursuit of a home run record, the epic pursuit of Ruth's single-season mark, made for terrific drama. I mean, in fact, the M&M Boys were part of a movie, right, by Billy Crystal. With the M&M Boys of Maris and Mantle battling for newspaper headlines, it may be surprising that the numbers don't rank Maris's 1961 season as highly as one might expect. Yes, he set the mark with 61 home runs, led the majors with 132 runs and 366 total bases, and paced the American League with 141 ribbies, but his 6.9 WAR is 53rd on the list. Judge has been flashing a 9.0 WAR for most of the season. That's good enough for MVP honors, much like Mantle, DiMaggio, and Maris right here. Ruth would have actually won the award in 1920, I think, if there was one. There wasn't one at the time. And you heard me mention earlier that he lost out to Gehrig in 1927, but that could be because of a rule that later changed in baseball. Voters were required to select 1 player from each team, and player coaches and prior award winners were ineligible at that point in time. Famously, these criteria resulted in Ruth winning only a single MVP award before it was dropped as a rule after 1928. Ruth won the MVP honor in 1923. Judge was arguably robbed of the award in 2017, maybe like Ruth was for those years, losing out to Houston's Jose Altuve, but not on our show and not when it comes to historical context, folks. We won't let that happen right here in the Bronx. This year for the Judge is one of the greatest Yankee seasons of all time, and that's our verdict. That's your look at sports. I'm Bobby C. Stay tuned. More Open back after this.
TV news, radio reports, and newspaper headlines in the 1970s and 80s misrepresented communities in the borough of the Bronx. Then, something transformative happened. By, for, and about the Bronx, BronxNet was born.
BronxNet provides media education,
opening the doors to competitive careers in the media industry
for thousands of students in middle school,
high school,
and college.
BronxNet.
right now, welcome back. Our last guest is a member of the young and talented music production team that were born and they're raised right here in the tri-state area. He's here to promote his latest project and much more. Please welcome to the show, Kingsmen member Dre in the building. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you very much, sir. It's a pleasure.
All right.
Appreciate this.
I heard you guys were busy in the studio, traveling around, doing different things, laying down tracks. What do we have? First, tell us a little bit about what brought you guys together, and then you can lay all that out.
Okay, well, Kingsman is made up of three guys: Dre, myself, Isaiah, and Ron Thomas, Deals. And we've been friends for quite some time with Zay and I. We grew up as childhood friends, and we decided, we wanted to make this more than a habit. So we decided to form a partnership along with a deal between us to create some music. And we wanted to broadcast it amongst the people, but we also felt that we needed a team, and we were missing a piece. And Ron was the third member of that team, and he was the one that pretty much completed us. So since we started, actually the first night we made a record, we were up to like 6 a.m. And our record, you can actually find on iTunes, called Riot. Yeah. But since then, we've been pressing forward.
And that's how you do the thing. You got to stay in that studio until things just iron out. Sometimes you can jump right
Correct.
in and say, let me drop this. I want this to be just like that. And sometimes it come out like that. Sometimes you got to spend a little bit of time in the studio and make it work. How'd you guys come up with the name The Kingsmen?
Well, interesting. Zay and I, his father was a pastor of a church called King of Kings in Hackensack, New Jersey.
Yeah.
And with that, the term kings, of course, as men, we feel that because we are children of God, that we're coming, we're made of the King, which is God, and we want to hit this industry differently. When people think of this industry, they think of people taking advantage of others, and Zay and I decided, listen, along with Ron, it's like, no, we want to be different from others as far as a production team, as far as a label, as far as artists. We want to just also teach, edify, uplift while
Yes.
making great music for people to, dance and enjoy themselves too.
Yeah,
So
that's how you do
Yeah.
that. That's how you do that. Yes. Now, what church is that in Hackensack, New Jersey? Is it Mount Olive Baptist Church or the one next to it?
no, well, yeah, I do. I am familiar with Mount Olive, but it's no longer a church now, but it was in Hackensack
Yeah.
by the middle school, if anyone's familiar with Hackensack,
All
New
right.
Jersey. But yeah, it was a private school that his mom also was a principal of and owned, and we were King's kids. And now we're no longer kids; we are men.
But
So we
still
decided
Kings.
to exactly. So we
Yeah.
decided to take the kids part out, put Kingsmen, and again, we're coming with a different way of doing things. Well, we're doing it the King's way. So we are going to make an effort to change the way this industry has looked upon how people do business.
Yeah, and that's your perspective too. Tell us about that My
Correct.
Perspective album.
My Perspective is the latest project that my partners and I came up with. Me as the solo artist for this particular project. It's 7 songs that we put together, wrote, produced, engineered, all 3 of us. We when we released this project, I was trying to think of a direction to go to, but it was more of a feeling project, something that was new. Different variations of or genres of music is on this EP. It's out right now on iTunes or any streaming platform that you can find or listen to, but it's called My Perspective. And it's a good collection of songs that I think people will dance to, feel, groove to.
Yeah. Dre, are you working with Dre and Sandra with the Bullion Foundation?
Correct. Shout out to Sandra and Andre. They've been such a blessing to us, and we've been working on a couple of projects since the beginning. And Andre and Sandra have introduced us to Selena, who I'm sure you guys are familiar with. Shout outs to Selena. Her project is out right now.
Yeah.
Single West Side, produced by Kingsmen. But yes, we've been blessed and fortunate to be working with Sandra and Andre. There's been a major help to the success of Selena's project, my project. I mean, you name it, they've been there every step of the way.
So big shout out to the Bullion Foundation.
Correct.
Sonia and Ray. Yeah. Andre, big up to you guys. I shouted up the steps a little while ago. Andre was on the phone. I said, "Yo, Ray, I didn't forget about you."
Yeah, I was just talking to him, man. Oh, man.
So I'm coming
God
up the
bless him.
steps. So it's good that you guys are working on some great stuff. Any other projects we should know about? Of course, the stuff that
yes,
you guys
I'm
are coming up
actually-
with and the stuff that you're producing.
Correct. We're working with a few talented local artists, but the next project that you will be hearing is from Ron Deals Thomas.
Yeah.
That project, we're actually in the finishing stages of it. We're just mixing, mastering right now, but the album is pretty much done, so look out for that. The title is called Circle Back. So we know we got the title. We're working on making sure it sounds sonically right, and you should be looking for that within the next month.
Yeah.
'Cause it's done. It's correct.
Who
ready
came
to
up
be
with that
shipped
name?
out.
Circle Back.
Ron. He's been working on this. He's had these ideas for a while, and it made sense. He wants to bring it back to the essence of R&B. So bringing it back, Circle Back.
Yeah.
And in fact, his first album is out now, called Turbulence. So you can check that out. That's in all music platforms. But this is his second EP with us as a group, a Kingsman music production team. So this album is going to be it's been a thrill to make, and it's going to be even better to listen to. So that's the next project to look out for.
What do you tell people that say, hey, R&B is dead?
It really isn't. I mean, I think there are some people that might be under a rock or looking for a particular sound, and maybe that's one of the reasons why they feel that R&B is dead. But it's a plethora of variations and variety of R&B music, from Tank to Cleo Soul. I mean, to Kingsmen, to Ron Thomas. I mean, there's so much different array of R&B music that is out there. I think people just don't want to look, but man, once you put it in your algorithm, it's gonna be there. So R&B is far from dead. In fact, I think it's gonna continue to rise, because now hip hop and R&B have kind of combined with melodies, and every song has a melody. So no, I think R&B is far from dead. So I really don't agree with whoever said
You
that.
come up with an R&B song, I could spit 16 on it for you.
Hey man, I'll call you up. We get you in the studio, man.
All right.
We can do it. You know?
Okay.
we'll make sure you sound amazing.
Thanks a lot.
Definitely.
Where can we find all of your stuff? Give me all the social media platforms. Give me the website and everything. We want to follow you.
So we our main form of finding us right now is Kingsmen on IG, Kingsmen MG. We have a link to all our music right now. Again, the latest project is My Perspective. My own tag is dre.kmg on Instagram. We also have Isaiah, ZAY.kmg.
Yeah.
And then we also have Ron Thomas, Ron Deals, at Ron Deals Thomas. So yeah, you can plug us in on Instagram, and we do have all our music on every major digital platform, iTunes, YouTube. I mean, whatever you have, you name it, we're on there. So yeah. We appreciate this, Bob. Thank you for taking the time out.
You know, you're always welcome to come on too. Give a hug, a virtual hug to the family, or a real hug this time to the family.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And the Kingsmen, show them my love and say, thank you for producing and putting out all the good music so that people in our community can hear and know what you're all about.
Man, thank you very much. God bless you, man. We appreciate that.
God bless you too. Dre, music producers, Kingsmen in the house.
Sir.
Thank you guys so much once again. All good things must come to an end. Thank you so much. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today's show. We want to thank our guests for joining us, you, our viewers, for tuning in and checking it all out. You can check out BronxNet TV for continued coverage, and host Kevin and Aline and Darren Jaime. You can check them out on Tuesday and Wednesday for new episodes of Open. Always remember this: what you are is God's gift to you. What you make of yourself is your gift to God. So choose your choice. Let your choice control the chooser. I'm the Dr. Bob Lee, and I'll see you over 107.5 WBLS. We love you all. Peace.